Welcome everyone to the Joel Martin Mastery Podcast. I'm a networking expert and the author of the upcoming book, No Strangers, How to Build Community, One Relationship at a Time. My why is the pursuit of mastery, and the goal of this podcast is to lock arms on a lifelong mission of daily personal growth to become the best version of ourselves. So let's dive in to today's episode. Welcome everyone to today's episode of the podcast where I'll be sharing the quote of the week. This one comes to us from English writer and speaker Alan Watts, and it's commonly referred to as life is not a journey. The existence, the physical universe is basically playful. There is no necessity for it whatsoever. It isn't going anywhere. That is to say, it doesn't have some destination that it ought to arrive at. But that it is best understood by the analogy with music, because music as an art form is essentially playful. We say you play the piano, you don't work the piano. Why? Music differs from, say, travel. When you travel, you are trying to get somewhere. In music, though, one doesn't make the end of the composition the point of the composition. If that were so, the best conductors would be those who played fastest. And there would be composers who only wrote finales. People would go to a concert just to hear one crackling chord because that's the end. Same way with dancing. You don't aim at a particular spot in the room because that's where you will arrive. The whole point of the dancing is the dance. But we don't see that as something brought by our education into our conduct. We have a system of schooling which gives you a completely different impression. It's all graded. And what we do is put the child into the corridor of this grade system with a kind of, come on, kitty, kitty. And you go on to kindergarten, and that's a great thing. Because when you finish that, you get into first grade. Then come on, first grade leads to second grade and so on. And then you get out of grade school and you get to high school. It's revving up. The thing is coming. Then you're going to go to college. Then you've got graduate school. And when you're through with graduate school, you go out to join the world. Then you get into some racket where you're selling insurance and they've got that quota to make and you're going to make that. And all that time, the thing is coming. It's coming. It's coming. That great thing, the success you're working for. Then you wake up one day about 40 years old and you say, my God, I've arrived. I'm there. And you don't feel very different from what you've always felt. Look at the people who live to retire, to put those savings away. And then when they're 65 and they don't have energy left, they're more or less impotent and they go and rot in some old people, senior citizens community because we simply cheated ourselves the whole way down the line. If we thought of life by analogy with a journey, with a pilgrimage, which had a serious purpose at the end, and the thing was to get to that thing at the end, success or whatever it is, or maybe heaven after you're dead, but we missed the point the whole way along. It was a musical thing, and you were supposed to sing or to dance while the music was being played. I hope you've enjoyed today's quote, and I'll see you on the next episode. I hope you've enjoyed today's episode, and I'd love to hear from you guys. My goal is to grow this podcast organically, where you're giving me feedback on topics you'd like me to cover and guests you'd like me to interview. You can reach out to me on Facebook, Instagram, and YouTube at Joel Martin Mastery. Joel is Joel, and on Twitter at Joel Mastery. So I am done. I am complete. I approve this message, and I'll see you on the next episode.